I actually went to Vietnam in 1971, I hasten to say, as a war tourist. I had joined the AP in New York in 1966, and in 1968, I had saved up a lot of vacation, and at that time, Pan Am offered an around-the-world ticket where you could stop every single place that it stopped. And one of the places it stopped was Saigon. So I booked my ticket and never told my parents that I was going to Saigon.
Eventually, Edith Lederer's parents found out about her pit stop, which was just the beginning of the extensive travels she's made throughout her career. In her more than 4 decades with the Associated Press, Lederer has worked on every continent except Antarctica, covering wars, famine, nuclear issues, and political upheavals. Her career features a series of firsts.
When I joined the AP, every year you would get a form that asked you what you wanted to be when you grew up. And I always wrote that I wanted to be a foreign correspondent.
Though the AP's foreign editor at the time wasn't in favor of women covering wars and disasters,
he didn't think that women had what it took to cover battle zones and conflicts and the world's great stories.
To her great surprise, she was asked to go to Vietnam in 1972, becoming the first woman assigned full-time to the AP staff reporting the Vietnam War. She went on to be the first woman to head the AP Foreign Bureau in Peru. She also covered the 1973 Middle East War, the war in Afghanistan, the conflict in Northern Ireland, and the end of the war in Bosnia, the civil war in Somalia, and the aftermath of the genocide in Rwanda. She helped report the downfall of communism and the breakup of the Soviet Union, the Romanian Revolution, the crash of Pan Am Flight 103, the death of Princess Diana, and the bombing of the U.S. Embassy in Nairobi, Kenya. And she was the first journalist to file the bulletin announcing the start of the first Gulf War from a U.S. airbase in Saudi Arabia in 1991. Lederer has served as the AP's chief correspondent at the UN since 1998.
For me, Vietnam changed my life because it launched my career as a war correspondent and a foreign correspondent.
She co-authored a book in 2002 about her experience covering Vietnam called War Torn. In the book, she includes a letter she wrote to her parents explaining why she had to go to Saigon.
Perhaps the thing that is most difficult to explain to a person outside the news business is the challenge of covering a big story. But despite the responsibility and the accompanying nerves and anguish, this is what most reporters live for, the chance to be there to cover that unforgettable moment in history.
Edith Lederer has reported more than her share of moments, enlightening millions of readers around the world. Because she has paved the way for and supported female journalists, reporting with bravery, integrity, determination, and insight, the International Women's Media Foundation presents its Lifetime Achievement Award to Edith Lederer.